Hello everyone, welcome you all on College Dekho channel. Ji. So today we are going to start with a new topic of the financial management subject, that is the working capital analysis. But before moving ahead with the topic, that working capital analysis, first we have to understand the concept behind the College Dekho channel. Yes, it is a channel which is providing you the live interactive sessions as one-on-one basis of the doubt clearance. In terms of you whatever course you are pursuing in any stream, commerce, science, arts, no issue with that. All the courses classes are provided on this channel, and on the YouTube channel we are having the introductory classes. And if you want more classes and to pursue all the sessions of the faculty, so you have to ask on a respected number where all the details given in the description box. Second thing, we are providing College Deco channel is providing College Deco main motto is to provide one-to-one student conversation, like a maximum student for in a per batch is limited with a 8. Yes, it may be decrease, but it may not be increase. So reason is very easy to understand the concept of the faculty, plus it is quite easy for the faculty to understand each student and their grab up capacity, how much they grab. Are they grabbing easily or they are not grabbing easily? So it's all in a very proper coordination. So it helps us to achieve more in terms of, like, we can say that if there is a 8 student, so we are having a 8 student batch, and we put in that batch a capacity of the student, like for example, if there is a very average student, so they are making the batch like that only. So it is very easy for the faculties to, and also no one from the student can think ki, no, our time is wasting, ma'am is going in details. Like some student wants in a detail, some wants in a easy format. Reason, everyone have their own capacity. And next is the 24/7 discussion form is available, and the link of that form is in the description box. Next is one-on-one doubt clearing session, as I told you. And while we are connecting with the class, mostly in my class I provide my handwritten notes which I took in the class only on my PDF format, and unlimited access of the recorded lecture, whatever the lectures are you pursuing, whatever the courses for which you registered in the college Dekho, so you will get the unlimited access of that recorded lectures too, until and unless you clear that final. Okay, after your final exams, that access is not in with you. So this is all about the college Dekho introduction. So don't waste time to analysis more and more. Just go on the description box and click on the link, fill up the Google form, or you may call directly to the team. And conceptual videos are always there on the YT. So don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the channel. Okay, ji. So this is all about the announcement. Now we'll start with our topic. Our topic is all about analysis of working capital. First of all, meanwhile, when I took the session of the financial management introduction, I talked about something like working capital. What is a working capital actual means? I took that session. So what is a working capital? The word is a working. Working is continue basis. Working, that means a going concern work, na? Capital means your wealth, your saving, which you invest and it becomes a capital. So, how we analyze the working capital? Before analyzing a word to understand, first we need to depth the meaning of the working capital and why it is needed in the financial management. Working capital. Basically, working capital is defined as difference between current assets and current liability. That is WC equals to CA minus CL. Working capital. Liabilities pay off. How do we pay off our liabilities? By selling off our assets. Selling of assets, we will going to pay off our liability. So while the difference between whatever the difference between left between both this item, whatever the left, it is our normal current assets. Just taking a point. So it is what our working capital. That means we need not pay off on this. What we have to do, this is our assets, this is our capital, and this is a working for us. We pay off all our liabilities and this assets is us, it's ours, and that will help us for in our future working. Let's take an example at our home. Let some person or some of the person become the insolvent. They are having a payoff liability on them is approximately, let's suppose take an example, 10 lakh rupees. They are having some gold with them at their home. Their house is also rented, but they are having some investment amount and gold. So all that things are a 15 lakh approximately. So they can easily pay off their debts in terms of a liability, and they will easily free from their liability after paying off that 10 lakh. After that 5 lakh, which 5 lakh of capital or assets or that gold remains with them. Is it what? Is it their capital? And is that why we are saying it's that a working capital? Because that capital is their wealth. And whenever they need that to pay off some other liability in the future, that will also they can easily pay off from them. So that's why when the current assets minus the current liability and whatever the remains is left, that is your capital, that is your wealth point, and that becomes easily your working capital. And what are the current liabilities, what are the current assets? These are the very basic things which you all know. In terms of a current liabilities, what was there? There is a creditors, and current assets there is a debtors. While we are paying off both the things, it's quite easy for us to calculate our basic working capital. Okay, so let's have some analysis of the current assets and the liability, which going to be understand in this working capital concept. So first one is your current assets. Current assets. Current assets, one is your inventory. Inventory may be as a raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. Second one is your receivables, like trade receivable, bill receivable. Next one is cash or cash equivalent, and any other prepaid expense. Prepaid expenses means that expenses which have to be incurred in future but we paid before it may be incurred. Okay, that is your prepaid expenses. Other current assets, other current assets may also include may also include your short-term loans, short-term loans and advances, or any other accrued revenue. Accrued revenue. So these are your current assets which you need to be considered while calculating the working capital of your company. Second one is your current liabilities. Current liabilities. What are the current liabilities? One is your payables. As we all know, under the current assets, we are having the receivables which we have to be earned from the others, and under the terms under the head of the current liability there is a payables which we have to pay off to the others. Come to the payables. Payables are like a trade payable and bills payable. Second one is your outstanding payments. Under the head of the current assets, we are considering the prepaid expenses. So here is your outstanding payments like wages and salaries, overheads, and other expenses. These are all come under the current liability. One more thing, as we take the other current assets like your loans and advances, short term. So here we also take the other current liabilities. Other current liabilities like short term borrowing, short term provisions, short term provisions that are payable within 12 months, like like provision for taxes, provision of taxes, etc. So under the other current liabilities, we have a short-term borrowing, short-term provisions, and one more thing we have also short-term borrowings and also the long-term borrowings too. That are also part of the other current liabilities and that may be considered while calculating the working capital. Long-term borrowings, or we can say long-term debt. These are some points which we have to kept in our mind while calculating the working capital. Simple point is that working capital is the difference between of current assets and current liability, and if the current assets is the more than current liability, that you are having the working capital for the future benefits, and if your current assets is less than the current liability, that means your liabilities are more than your assets, so that liability you are not able to pay off easily, so it is not your current working capital. So this is all about the general meaning of a working capital, and the major point is to be analysis all this. But here is not the end of this topic. It's the topic, it's very vast topic. So understand all these things in detail with a working capital management. So after understanding all these points, we have to take the next point, that is the working capital management. What is that? In a simple way, if you are having more current assets than the liability, that is whatever the more in the current assets, how you manage that thing, that is the working capital management in a very simple way. It's a very easy concept to understand, and when you are understanding these things or any law, any provision, any practical points, just take out the word meaning here, working capital. And when I start the class, what we had understand about the working capital, if there is a current assets is more than the current liability, so whatever the more amount is left, that is our working capital, that means that is our wealth that help us in future to pay off our future any other liabilities too. So what do you mean by the working capital management? It's a simple thing, that is whatever the extra amount we are having in terms of current assets, so that will help us to manage that thing. Okay, that is the working capital management. So how we manage all the things, that is considered here. So first come out to the point, it is a basically a process. It is a process. It is a process which is designed to ensure that an organization operates efficiently by monitoring and utilizing its current assets and current liabilities. That means basically what I said, that if we are having a more current assets, that means we are having a positive working capital with us. We must know how to manage that. And second thing, if we are not having much working capital with us, that is also very important point. Focus on that in respect of the why we are not having a proper working capital. So both the things, either in a favorable condition or unfavorable condition, both the things must be managed, must be analysis, must be monitored, and respective actions should be taken to improvise that thing or to develop that thing. So this is what we know. That about the working capital management. Again, the point has come. It is a process. Like as I said you that about working capital, that is to manage our capital management. So it is a process. Management is a part of a process, because while we are reading the management or study about the management, first thing is the process. What process we have to take? First is a process which is to design. That organization must have monitor and utilize its current assets and the current liability, because it is a major point in terms of the organization to understand either they are having a more assets in terms of a current assets, or they are having a more current liabilities. If they are having more liability and less assets, it is a insolvent and a future wind up situation occurs in that company. And if a company having less current more current assets and less current liability, that means they are having a bright future and not to come under the process of the winding up. So this is we have to manage time to time basis under the companies. So now next point, working capital. Working capital is analysis in measure of two parts. One should be on the basis of value. On the basis of value, be like your normal fixed assets. As what we check, let's suppose we took a gross amount of a plant and machinery be 1 lakh, and we take out the 15% depreciation at the end of the financial year. So what is the net value of the plant and machinery? That we deduct 15,000 out of that, and rest of the amount is our net amount. So while under the finance management or in your accounting process, when we took anything or analysis anything on the basis of the value, so value be like your gross or the net. Net is after deducting your values. In terms of gross working capital equals to total current assets. And while analysis under the net working capital, it become your assets minus current liability. Simple. Next one is on the basis of time. On the basis of time. It also divided in two parts on the basis of time. One is a permanent. Second one is a temporary. Permanent, that means fixed. This is the main stage, that is the permanent basics normally depends on the permanent working capital on the basis of time, depends upon the permanent basically means base working capital, which is the minimum which is the minimum level of investment in the current asset. While we are on a temporary, it is an addition to the permanent working capital. It is like an addition. If we understand this slope, temporary having a up and down, permanent must be at a straight line. And while we are understanding the temporary, sometime it may go up, after they come down, up, down. But it is a addition. Temporary means a fluctuation on a day to day basis. Permanent means this type of amount, this is your working capital, and on a time basis we must have this amount of figure with us as a permanent figure. And while we are understanding the temporary point, it is a addition to the permanent as per the day to day activities of the company. So this line is indicated that temporary, and it is quite difficult to go down from the temporary to, okay, so permanent to. So it is your temporary line, which is an addition to the permanent working capital, and it's your permanent working capital, which is a quite same at an all the level. No matter if there is a value increase or decrease or anything, malab it's in your average. So this is your some or in brief discussion on the working capital. So basically, simple meaning, always remember in terms of the working capital that working capital is working capital is a difference between of your current assets and current liability. And why we are saying that it is a working capital, we see it is as a working capital because only one reason, as current liabilities are our liability which we have to pay off. Current assets are our assets which is coming to us. Like your if we are having some investment on the raw material, that means our assets, that is our value, that is our worth. And how we get that thing, maybe it may happen while we purchase some raw material from the purchaser, we take it on a credit. So here in an asset side, we are having that number of stock with us, and on a credit side, we are liable to pay off them. So this is the main reason to analysis both the thing and make out the difference. If you purchase any raw material or anything, either you paid off, if you paid off whatever the assets remains with us, that is become our working capital. And if it is not there, then it is the, I know it's I told you it's a little bit dangerous situation to compete the winding up towards the company. Next is your receivable. Sometimes there is a some firm, there are debtors too and there are creditors too, so we need to be set of them, either one or other thing. Like we are having a total receivables be like 1 lakh, and if we are having a creditor 1 lakh 20,000, so we have to take out our money from the receivable and pay off our creditors and make it that difference become the zero. Okay, so that's help us to understand actual worth what we are having left with us. So there is no need to take out any individual transactions. That is the current assets, that means the totality of all this item, and the current liability is the totality of the all this item. Ma'am, whether other current assets or other current liability can be taken off, yes, you have to consider that too. So this is all about the introduction of the working capital. More videos will be coming soon, and if you want to take the full course classes with a practice sessions, practical questions, so don't forget to ask on the respective number given in the description box. And more informations or any other information which you want to ask from the company, you may definitely call on the respective number. Plus you may also fill up the Google form. That form is available for the 24/7. So it is quite easy for you, and College Dekho is providing a very compatible classes to you as per your comfort zone only. At what time slot you need a class, there is a slot availability always available for the student point of view. So this is all for today. We are coming with her back to back sessions. So like the video, share the videos, share the channel link, and subscribe the channel if you forget till now to subscribe it. So we are coming with a lot of new sessions and very interesting topics. So Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget it. Okay, G. Bye. Take care.